Hello. Hey, it works. Very good. Gosh, you just never know. How you doing, everybody? Which is the button? That's the button. How you doing, everyone? Welcome to the stream. How y'all doing? Yes, you did make it just in time, Jay. Hope you're well. How's everyone doing? How's your week been? I didn't stream last week, and I'm sorry. The internet just did not work. It did finally come back, like, about mid-morning. But by that time, I was on to other things, so I couldn't do it. But we're doing it this week. The internet was available to me today, so that's so good. You good? Been busy? Moving once again. Oh, I hate moving. Jay, that is the worst. That is the worst. We got told, so we rent as well. We rent our apartment, which is just up the street, and we got told that the owner of the place has sold it. So we have been told that at the end of our lease we'll have to find somewhere else. So moving is in our future too again, once again. Yeah, but that's all right. We'll figure it out. We got time. At least we're not getting kicked out next week, so we'll figure it out. How you doing, Miller? I'm doing fine. I'm alive, I think. I am doing all right, yeah. Hasn't been as busy, which has been good. Been busy with other things. I feel like life is finally catching up a bit, which is good. Yeah, less massive project time, more like personal project time. And one of them is actually the library site. So I'm working on a big old redesign of my website, which includes the library. So because it is very close to collapsing. Like, it's not far. It's starting to really show its age. It's like 8 years old now. But it's at the point where a lot of it cannot be updated. So it's at the point where it's like it's close to non-existence. Very close. So this has been something that I've desperately needed to do for a while now, and finally I've got some time to do it. So I'm working on a new redesign with new functionality. Well, not huge changes, but like a little bit more like modern design with a player in the website that doesn't stop. Well, that changes when you choose another track. I think the current design of the website, it's like the MP3s are just essentially just embedded in the post, and you hit play on one on the library site, and and if you hit play on another track, it will just play over the top. Two tracks playing simultaneously, and that's kind of crap. I don't really like that. So got more of a streamlined sort of library view. Still has like the library pages where it has all the info about the track and who supported it through Patreon and Twitch and whatnot. But much better sort of system and fast. I think a lot of people have been complaining to me, particularly the last month, that the website is just slowing down dramatically. So, so another thing I'm also like, so this is a fast website. It's using different back-end sort of stuff. It's all WordPress still, but like back-end. I think it's called it's called Ajax or something like that. So asynchronous JavaScript and XML or something. So it means that everything's very, very fast and updates very quickly, which is good. And then you can search. You'll be able to search by many different filters at once, not just choosing one from a drop-down list and then having things change. It's like multiple functional search terms, which is fantastic. I think that's something that's everyone's been asking for a long time. And then what else is new? Not much else. Oh, and I also, like, to do with this at the time, the server load stuff, I think I will be moving to a US-based server. Currently, it's on an Australian on an Australian server, but that's like far from everyone, so that might help as well with the speed load times and stuff. So yeah, that's really cool. It's happening. Hopefully the next couple of months it'll be live, and that will let me sleep a lot better, I think. What's going on here? Oh no, I just realized that there's a whole chunk. Wow. I never noticed that. So I'm playing the library playlist on the YouTube page on my site, and it's like Convergence has like a big chunk at the end of the track that's just dead space. I didn't realize that. I exported it out incorrectly, guys. And no one said anything? No one said anything. You guys, what are you doing? Whoops. Never mind. Anyway, how have you guys been? Hey, Audio Root, how you doing? How you doing? Assumed it was intentional? No, it was not intentional. Because I always intend everything, no. I make lots of mistakes, guys. That's awesome, Craig. I hope it's going well. I hope it's going well. It's a new project of yours. Yeah. So it's really good to be working on a new website. It makes me feel good. And today I'm working on another sort of, I guess, personal project, but it's also like a company project, I guess, with my wife. So my wife is doing her master's in visual arts, and she has sort of related to the degree, but not really as well. It's just like a solo exhibition that she's doing in a gallery here in Brizzy, and I am part of it, I guess. So the idea is that she's created a big woven work. I don't know if I have any photos of it that I can share yet. It's all on my phone, I think. I'll be able to share the rubbing that she's given me, but she's made this big woven work. She's a weaver, so she has big looms just out in the room behind us here. 2 big looms that she works on, and she made this big sort of last year, I think, this big woven piece that sort of hangs in space. It's like 3-dimensional, sort of 4-layer kind of woven work that sort of, it's moody. It's very moody, particularly when it's in a very sort of sparse, minimalist space and everything. So she did that, and then what she also did as part of one of her subjects, it was like a printmaking class that she was doing, and one of the things she did in there was like what's called a frottage, what the art community calls a frottage, which is just a rubbing. So like getting paper and then putting it over things and rubbing it and making a rubbing, but they have a special name because it's a frottage. And she made a frottage of the woven work, so like the edges of the woven work, which are called selvages. That's the name. The edges of the work, because they sort of have, you know, sort of goes up and down and has little sort of things going on. And she made this essentially frottage. By the way, this work is like 6 meters long, so it's not like it's a small thing. It's quite a big thing. And so this frottage is like 6 meters long as well. And she had this idea that that it could be, because she was hearing, like, she was, I don't know, it came across maybe like John Cage, I think, who's like a composer who some of you probably know. He's like quite a instrumental sort of person in like modern art music, and treating sound as you know, the same as music, and like lots of really cool ideas behind his work. But he does a lot of graphical scores for his work, and she goes, "Oh, maybe the frottage could be a graphical score." And then she just roped me in to do this, so which it was fun though. This is a really interesting project. So the idea is I have this frottage, this rubbing, that I'm treating as a graphical score, okay? And I'm doing this as a Essentially, I'm performing her work. Like, I'm interpreting the graphical score, how I see it. Doing, what I normally do, just playing around with MIDI on a computer, but trying to make a performance of her work, essentially. So we're kind of like collaborating. And then the idea is that the music will be played in the space alongside the woven work and the rubbing. So this is the thing. This is gonna be my first art exhibition, guys. Pretty crazy. A little bit scared. I don't know what I'm doing. And the music's definitely something I would not have normally have written. I think it's very very different. So you might like this, guys. You might not like this. I don't know. But we're doing it because this is what I'm doing. This is my job today. I'm gonna work on this thing. and then you're gonna put up with it no matter what. You can just leave if you don't like the music. That's okay. You can come back another time. But it's an interesting idea. And it's something I've never really done before. And it's very it's a strange experience. Because I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And the idea is like it could maybe turn this into something that could be played by a real. So I'm focusing more on like a string orchestra kind of sound. Preferably like a small like chamber strings. And so my idea is that it like one day it could be turned into an actual score for someone to play in real life. But I don't know how to do that because I'm also just freewheeling this. I'm not doing what I normally might do with, like locking it to tempo, and I'm just kind of playing, and there's no beat map, there's no tempo, there's no bar numbers. It's just kind of freewheeling it and feeling it, man. Feeling the vibes. So I don't know how to turn that into a score eventually, but there's probably someone out there can sort of help me, I think. HFP, yeah, you can absolutely use it on Twitch. Absolutely, go for it. Just find a place where you think is appropriate to credit me. There, it's not so strict as YouTube. YouTube has a strict policy that the description needs to be in. Sorry, the credit needs to be in the description. Just because there's an automated sort of copyright system involved with all that, it's looking for credits in a specific place. But on Twitch, on Facebook, that's not the case necessarily. So on Twitch, you can just put it somewhere where it makes sense. So maybe like in one of the panels under your stream if you're using it a lot, or in like a command or something, like exclamation music or something. I don't know. Just think it's something that works for you. Somewhere where you think people, if they were interested, where they'd be able to find it. Something like that. Luke! You're probably not watching the stream, but thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Yeah. What else has happened this week? In other updates, I guess I bought a NAS. I bought a NAS for the studio, which is a big thing, guys. I have like so much hard drive space now because I've moved everything onto the NAS. So NAS is like network access storage, if you're not familiar with that. But it's just and it's in a sort of RAID configuration, so it's sort of backed up, and it's also backing up to the cloud. So this is like super professional level, system we got going here, not just like backing up my C drive on Backblaze, which is what I've been doing for the last, I don't know, 8 years or something. So I bought a NAS. I did it. Do you finally know what geometry dash is after Alan's? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. finally get an idea of what that means. Yeah, what geometry dash is. It's definitely an aesthetic. I assume the music in that is from the game, because I was looking up some of the music from Geometry Dash. It's quite a vibe. Quite a vibe. That's good, creator. Perfect. Pedro, thank you. Glad you like them. Yeah. Yeah, they found a game. Cool. Yeah. I'm glad they could use the music because I don't know if I'd be able to pull that off. Maybe, yeah, someone else might have been better for that. Wanted original music. Okay. I have a parcel coming today. I have a parcel. How exciting. Lucho, how you going? How are you? Middle Mouse, hello? Yeah, we've been fine. We've been alive. We've been coping, I think. Amanda is pretty stressed, my wife. So she's got a lot of work to do for her master's degree, and she's a bit stressed. I'm so glad I don't have to be doing any of that anymore. I've been through the stress doing my science degree and my PhD. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that anymore. How many minutes of music a day can you get done? It kind of depends on the kind of music it is, really. Like really intense full orchestra stuff can be maybe at max a minute, you know? But sometimes, like, it could be, if it's more very floaty ambient stuff with long pads and very slow moving sort of things, that could be, you get up to, like, you know, I think for some of the, like, it could be as much as like 5 minutes, 8 minutes, you know, like sometimes it could be really long depending on the outcome. But if there's a lot of work and detail involved with the music, it definitely takes a lot more time to get a small amount done. So it varies a lot. I think I'd probably, if I'm figuring out, if I'm planning how much time a project might take, because generally a project has a bit of variation in the kind of music required for it. So I'm kind of like estimating around, I'd say 2 minutes a day is a good like baseline for me, in how much I can probably get done feasibly. On average. Not every day it's going to be like that. Some days you'll get less done, some days you get more done. About then, and so that allows me to figure out how much time I need to get something finished. That's okay, creator. We're all co-working here, so that's okay. Yeah, I don't think there are people that, like, you know, who are like do say like television and things like that, where their output is much faster. But they're also generally doing, like, I don't know, they usually have a lot of templates set up that have a lot of stuff going on, like not necessarily loops and things like that, but they're very fully formed, you know, sounds that can fill time in a TV show or something like that and get a lot more done then. So it really depends. I also don't want to, like, I don't need to push myself. I'm not like most screen composers where I'm like trying my best to like take every project that I can and, you know, complete as many things as I can as fast as I can. I'm not really in that position. I don't have to do that, so I don't tend to like push myself too much to work faster because I don't need to. I don't need the stress. I don't need to do that. I've done that before, and that's what drove me out of music in the first place years ago. So, just all chill, you know. Oh, that's awesome, HFP. That's cool. I like that track too. It came out surprisingly well, I think. I was very happy with it. That was actually, I composed that to like a snippet of a BBC documentary. Actually, it was something. It was essentially like an albatross returning to its little chicklet on a cliff face and then flying off again. So it was just a very like small little sequence, but it was great actually. It was really nice. I got to do that more, I think. Just find little videos like that to score, because you can do that. The music is fine. Like, you don't have to share the actual thing you scored, right? Once you have packed here, you're gonna start getting yourself on stream schedule. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I need to get myself sorted out as well, so I can stream a bit more as well. Yeah. The one thing I would like to do is like an afternoon stream. But in the afternoons, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting things done and then wanting to go home to cook something, and like maybe one day when studio and house are combined together again, it might be a little bit more feasible. You're just animating stream so much, yeah. It's a different vibe, right? Writing on stream is a different vibe to just sitting here on my own. It's very different. A different kind of productivity, different kind of interaction, different kind of like the things that I do on stream are probably a little bit different to what I do on my own. No worries, HFP. Have a great one. Sleep well. Bullet. Hello. All right. So first today, actually, I need to not open or not be in Cakewalk. I need to actually do something in Premiere very quickly. But it'll allow me to show you what the score looks like that I'm working on. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to load this up. The things that we're doing. This is probably one of the weirdest projects I've ever done. Has to be up there. I'm trying to think what would be just as weird. I don't know. You can almost treat it like a film project, except the film is just like the music I'm interpreting. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird, guys. Maybe this one? Yeah. Open. No, that's not that. That's it. Okay. So we're in Premiere first. This isn't anything. This is just me loading up the video that I filmed of the rubbing that we're using as the score for this classical work that I'm working on. So this is what it kind of looks like. This is the essentially... So anyone who has a foot fetish right now, this is your day, guys. Enjoy. Enjoy my little toes, my little hairy toes. So this is the rubbing of her work. So it's quite long. As we listen to Song of the Forge. Quite long. It does all sorts of things. So there's quite a lot going on here. So that's the rubbing. So it's the idea is that I'm just essentially, however I want to interpret this, I'm interpreting it into music. So that's the aim here, which is like it's harder than you realize, because it's like you've got to come up with some sort of level of like arbitrary decision making around what each of these little lines will represent, and because there's clearly two lines going on here, and lots of little like weird rubbings out in the edges, and so it's like, I don't know, it's been a weird experience, but I think we're finally getting there. What I want to do in here is actually just spit out a very slow version of me scrolling along, so that it's kind of like 10 minutes-y long. That's too long. That'll do. That might be really... Yeah, that's great. Okay. So we're just going to export that. Go, 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 go. Graphical. So notes, thank you. How you doing? What are we working on? That's a very good question. Graphical score, 10 minutes. That'll do. Exporte. So we're working on Dynamite. How you going? We're working on a, I guess, a classical work. I don't know how to describe it, but it's not really like properly classical because I'm not getting anyone to perform it. It's just me kind of vibing, as I do every time I write a piece of music. But it's a the idea is that my Amanda, my wife, if anyone doesn't know, she has she's doing her Masters of Visual Arts, and she's got a solo exhibition coming up in September where she's displaying one of her very large, sort of 6 meter long woven work. So it's like this. I wonder if I can find. I might have a photo of it because it might give you an idea of what we're vibing to here. Dynamite, thanks for the follow, buddy. Let me see if I can find it because we have hung it a few times. It's got to be in here somewhere. I like origami, guys. This track is cool. I gotta write more jazz. Yes. Yes. Okay, let me see if I can share this to myself. Share it. How do I do that? I can plonk it on a OneDrive. We miss you? Oh, I'm here now. Does that count? Let's put that in documents. No, maybe the desktop. Yeah, let's go to desktop. So the idea is that she's showing this work, and this here that I see on the screen. This is a rubbing she made of the work on the edges. So it's like a taking the edges of the work and kind of rubbing it to paint. They call it a frottage, and essentially it's a 6 meter long, frottage rubbing. And she had this kind of zany idea that this kind of looks like a graphical score, and so she decided to rope me in to respond to it by creating some music that essentially uses the score as a guide to create music, to create something. So that's what we're doing. I'm about halfway at the moment so the idea is she wanted me to write as many works as possible. So so we're trying to actually write like maybe close to like 4 works, a reasonable like 30 minutes long, not 30 minutes each long, but like the whole, I guess, album would be, that sort of 30 minute mark. So the idea is that we're just kind of interpreting it as much as we can and playing with it. It's a weird idea. It's not that weird, I guess. A lot of people have been doing this in the art world for a very long time in classical music, modern classical music. I think that's done now. I can go over here. But it's not something I've ever done. And it's also because it's a bit of a weird situation because I'm not giving this to performers. This is not getting played by real people. It's just kind of me vibing. So it's a weird interpretation as well, in the fact that I'm also kind of mimicking a performance of, string players, but it's all fake as well. I don't know. It's a bit strange. But it is what it is. It'd actually be really cool to actually figure out how to get it performed but because I'm not necessarily... Oh, where is this? Is this one? Let me just have a look over here first. I don't want to open up something weird. You know what I mean? Where is it? Extra large. Well, maybe it didn't save. It probably didn't save. Oh, why not? I'm just going to email it then. Why didn't do that? Maybe it just hasn't updated yet. Oh no, there's a sync. Oh, I'm over my limit. That's what's happened. Stupid personal OneDrive crap. Alright, I know what to do. I know what to do. Never mind. Hold on, folks. Yeah, here we go. So this is her work. Ta-da! So this is called The Way to Ver. Which is her. Oh no, my camera froze. The hell? What's going on? Wait a sec. Why? Okay, there we go. I don't know why it froze. Oh wait, it's not back yet. What's going on? Saving is for the weak. I agree, Big Red. You could do it at one shot. We'll go home. Yeah, so this is her work. This is called The Way to Ver. It's a very poorly lit space, so like this is not representative of what it will look like. She has had like professional photos done of it, where it's like really moodily lit. And oh my gosh, it's a vibe, guys. It's a vibe. Anyway, so the rubbing is essentially the edges of the work. So that's the thing. And this is Amanda. If you haven't seen her in real life or on camera, that's my wife. So the rubbing essentially is the edges of that. That's what we're working on as the score for this this shenanigans that we're going to get up to today, which is this stuff. So yeah, so that's the background. It's going to be fun trying to explain this every time someone comes in going, "What are you doing? What's going on?" Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely out there. So no, it's like something that's I've never done this before, and it kind of makes me think, oh, what other things can be used as a graphical score? Because the work that's coming out of it, it's definitely not something that I would normally do just spontaneously. It's not something that I generally would write, and that's kind of cool. It's kind of like a really interesting way to like spring myself out of this, you know, sometimes there's box that I put myself in to get things done. You kind of write, you know, similar things because they work. But this is kind of freeing in that I kind of just vibing and responding, and there's some weird moments that happen, very sort of atonal, but also really pretty moments. And it's like, this is interesting. It's very interesting. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do today. That's what we're doing today. Let me see if I can turn off the music. And we'll see how far we get. We'll see how far we get. We are about halfway through for the first movement, I guess. All right. So this is what maybe I'll have to actually do some setting up here because I haven't done that. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Gonna move this here. I'm gonna say that goes there, and I'm gonna make edit send. Going to bus B, and then this is going to 1 and 2. All right, I think that's good. Now, if we hit play, hopefully something does. I'll put that there. Does appear in the door input. Yes, it's just going to be very quiet, I think. So I'm going to boost it up quite a lot. Fingers crossed that things don't go crazy. So the problem with this is going to be quite dynamic. I don't know how to make this kind of at a level where you're like hearing it okay without it going too crazy. So I think, yeah, it's one of these works where, like, I'm imagining it being played by a chamber orchestra. I've got a few, like, in mind, like I picture them playing this, and it's very, I feel like kind of normal to hear these textures and things played in that context in modern works and stuff. But it often also gets, like, because of film music and the way that a lot of that sort of like 20th century exploration of sound and texture in classical music have been adopted by film music. Like there's sort of particularly things like Ligeti, like composers like Ligeti, Xenakis, Schoenberg, like these weird harmonies and textures that have been adopted a lot for horror. So they've been kind of like co-opted into this sort of, I guess, like when people think of horror, when they think of, scary movies, they think of these kinds of textures, even though that was never their intention. Particularly someone like Xenakis was kind of just like exploring ideas, just, almost through chance, like these are just, things that, came out of his work. They weren't necessarily what he was trying to achieve, these scary textures. That wasn't his goal. But when they were put into these kinds of contexts, people associate those sounds with scariness. Um, and so that's what worries me with showing this on stream, because obviously a lot of people who watch me doing what I do, I normally work in that sort of that discourse of film music, film music, TV music, media music that has so many very direct emotions attached to different sounds, and like major chords are happy and then minor chords are sad, solo piano is melancholy, these kinds of things is like there's a lot of associations wrapped up in all these things, and it's there's a reason for it, like because it's when you use it in the film context, it's a shortcut to making people feel a certain way in a scene, right? But like in these kinds of works where like you're kind of just exploring an idea, and the outcome happens to be that. I mean, I'm also working with sound libraries because I'm creating a version of a recording here, and I'm using the sounds I have available. And a lot of the sound libraries I have are limited by the things that are used in modern film music. That's those the libraries are designed for that. And so a lot of textures are actually kind of scary. They use those same textures that everyone associates with dissonance and horror and like, and so it's the same kind of outcome in a way. But it's like it's not what I'm trying to achieve. I guess I don't want it to be like to necessarily be scary. It's this kind of thing I'm coming out with. Kind of weird. I don't know. It's a weird way to come at it, but I guess it is what it is. 20th century eternally suits horror because it's unstable, highly dissonant. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, because it sort of clashes with that, that very classical, tonality that everyone has been adapted to for, a few centuries now. Hope you're doing well. I am. Thanks, John. Practicing and finding those VSTs. Nice. You moved to do in Reaper instead of Cakewalk. That's fair enough. Yeah, Cakewalk's moved away from that free model now. Which maybe they had to at some point, but so Reaper's probably a good option. Yeah. I'm considering what to do next as well. I'm still on the Cakewalk bandwagon and I'm paying for it now. But I think eventually it'd be good to move elsewhere. Maybe Reaper, because I've heard they got some pretty good functionality in there for game work, looping and things. But also the Cubase also sounds really good. Cubase sounds pretty good too. A lot of my colleagues use Cubase, so if I run into trouble and have questions, I probably could ask them questions too. Anyway, maybe I can play the score alongside for a while. Maybe this will work. And you can kind of maybe see how I'm interpreting. I don't know. Maybe it's only me that can hear it. Actually, just a moment. Oh, hit play here. Hit play here. This is the hit. A bit too fast. Oh. Wait, it's like things not playing. It's like solos. They're not here. You can't hear them anymore. What's going on? They're like really quiet. I don't know why they're so quiet. This sucks. Why is it changing? MIDI. Around here. That's what we got so far. It is kind of weird, right? Like it is kind of strange. Um, and it's not something I would do normally because I kind of dwell in a lot of tonality. Like I like being very distinctly in a sort of a like a tonal bass. This is very loosely like based around like a G scale, G major scale. It's kind of it drifts between G major and minor at certain points. How how and when, I don't know why it changes, but it does. Um, uh, but it's like it's just a little bit weird and different, and I'm really surprised. There's certain moments where like it's really just strange and you know just very non-tonal and textural. But then there's moments where I like things recede and there's really kind of nice solo moments. I mean, I don't have to be choosing solos there, but I have because it has felt like it would be kind of cool to change the focus. Um, and it's like uh, there's little moments where it's like just out of the weirdness, something really kind of for a very brief moment, something very beautiful happens, and then it sort of does something else. you know, and it's not like I'm planning any of this. It's kind of me just looking at the score and changing notes based on where I see the line going. Sort of I am using the lines here as kind of like a rough outline of what, pitch is. The darkness is how loud it is. These sort of like very large area sort of rubbings I'm using as more like textural gestures. So like there's sort of, filling like sort of space in between a bunch of notes with trills and tremolos. These are sort of low sort of sweeps of basses and things like that. So it's like I'm having a lot of fun sort of filling out the space and just kind of seeing it appear. I'm not really like have anything planned, and it's just kind of weird. It's kind of weird. And as I said, you may not like this. A lot of people are not really like into music like this, and I get you. I understand. Um, but it is what it is, I guess. This is what we're doing, and something very different. It's very good to like try something that's very outside your box, and this is definitely outside the box. Doesn't sound like horror music. I'm not sure how to describe it yet, but it's not suspense or horror. Okay, I think it's often accent style. I would be surprised if this infiltrates your library work in the future. I agree. Yeah. That's it. It makes me go, I wonder what else out in the world like can be interpreted into music. Like on sort of graphical score kind of level, and just seeing what happens, like what comes out of it. It just makes you, oh wow. You actually have a real arts practice out of this. you know, you could be a composer doing weird art music based on, a rubbing of a brick wall or I don't know, anything really. A car tire. The sound of a car tire. Anyway, so it's been a weird experience. Did I just close that? Ugh. All right. So we need to figure out, I think I want to rebalance some of this because it sounds like some of the levels have gone a bit out of whack. So we're going to just play it again. Play some weird music. Which creates more tension in music, orchestration or plugins? Also, if you keep only 3 orchestral mixing plugins, which ones and why? Oh god, don't make me choose, John. What creates more tension? I don't know what would be my tension. As in like how like where I feel like I'm lacking, you think? I don't think I'm lacking for plugins. I feel like I've got plenty. So it's probably going to be orchestration and my ability to use the plugins to create something. I think that's probably where a lot of people actually are in the same camp. I've been doing this for years, but I still don't think I'm like I'm a true master at doing this. Like it's hell, you're constantly just trying to get better and better and better as you go, and you always do find something to improve on. I think the big blind spot, and maybe this is like something that will come out of this as well. The big blind spot for me is the next step. If I wanted to like have this played by a real string orchestra or something, the big blind spot is getting this out into some sort of notated score that someone could interpret. I have no idea how I would do that in a way that's standard. Like what a bunch of players would be familiar with playing, like seeing and seeing on their stand and knowing what to do. Particularly stuff like this, where like I'm not recording any of this to like, you know, a beat. There's no like bar one, bar two, bar three. It's kind of just me vibing. This is me just playing, you know, making ambient music essentially using a palette of string sounds. But it's like I don't know how to get that scored up. Um, so yeah, as it pertains to the score, it pertains to the story type of tension, captivating the viewer and music. It really elevates those moments. I think, I mean, it's still orchestration. I think, like how you use those plugins, um, is very important because there's a lot of really cool plugins that have really cool sounds, but you can use them very badly, and be very poor at it. If they can perform Threnody to the victim's Hiroshima, they can figure it out. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, maybe there's someone. I mean, I need to actually look at those scores. I should do some score studies, so notes, and actually figure out what they're doing in the score to achieve the sound that the players are making. I mean, I'm very happy and open to having like my score of this, like, because this is just me fooling around. My score being interpreted in many different ways, you know. So that's like I have no problem with that. But at least I want to give them something that like if they're gonna play it, like they know at least somehow how to get from the start to the finish. And I don't think like something like this feels like maybe not it's not gonna be, you know, like I said, bar one, bar two, it's gonna have moments where you're just kind of filling in. You gotta play just something very random for the next 30 seconds. Just do that, please. And there's got to be ways to do that. I just don't know how you do that. But that's okay. That's where we're gonna grow. That's why we do the things we do. We get better. We learn. Um, Used to be bad at animation when everybody got way better. Yeah, that just everything takes just practice and a willingness to practice and to know that you can be bad at something for a very long time, and you know, and that's okay. I think like that's a very big part of learning is that knowing that for maybe a long time you're gonna be just bad at something. You will get better, but um you just need to work at it. I'm gonna learn how to play violin, guys. I'm about to. So my we found a couple of years, like not a couple of years ago, but Mum brought out like maybe 10 years ago. It's this like old violin that was sitting in my parents' cupboard that I didn't know existed. I've been a musician all my life. No one ever told me there was a violin sitting in the cupboard. But it's this old violin of my great grandfather's. That turned out to be a pretty decent violin. We've actually taken it now to a violin luthier to have it repaired. It's got a few cracks in it and has a bit of insect damage from sitting in their cupboard. And there was like cockroaches decided to make the case a home, and it's very awful. But it's gonna get fixed up, and my next objective is to learn how to play violin, and I'm gonna be incredibly bad for a very long time, and I'm very fine with being bad for a very long time. Might give it a unique roach vibe, you know. You never know, man. It's like prepared violin. So the violin, I was told by my mum at the time that was my great grandfather's violin, and he brought it out from the UK when he immigrated to Australia. But I've actually been doing a bit of sleuthing. So first of all, the violin luthier immediately knew the design of the violin, and it was from the 1920s. So it's a German violin from a maker, Hermann Döhler. So and he said it's not a bad violin. It's actually quite a good one. So it's a reasonably worthwhile getting fixed up. But I don't think it's the violin that if he did bring out one, it's not the one that he did bring out from the UK. It seems like that the violin was made in the 1920s, and it looks like I've done a bit of sleuthing. I've actually been on ancestry.com. Have you guys ever been on ancestry.com? My gosh, that is a deep well of exploration. Oh my god! But I found out that my great grandfather, he moved, who had likely had the violin, moved out in the 1890s. So it's like a bit of a different time period. The violin's like 30 years, older. Well, the violin came into existence 30 years later. So it's a bit of a difference. But, kind of unraveling these like family mysteries is kind of fun. It really is kind of fun. I don't really know much about my mum's side of the family, so it's interesting to learn a bit more. And I'll have a violin that will be connected to my great grandfather. That's pretty cool, I think. Jill, how you going? Hello. Okay. I think those notes are all there. Paul Sagan. The Horus Heresy, yes. How you doing, buddy? Never used to be a fan of classical music and listen to me. Oh, chill. Thank you. This is a little bit weirder than what I normally write. So, you're allowed to say if you don't like it. That's the thing about art music. You can actually, any music really, you can say that you don't like it, and that's okay. You know? But it's good to understand, like, figure out, like, I think that's one of the things I've always struggled with, particularly me as a younger, like, musician, composer. Like, I really revolted against music like this because I was always wanted to be like, I just love film music. That was my thing, and I grew up with the Beach Boys, and I just wanted everything to sound very harmonious and beautiful and like, and I never really understood the reason for why, like, sort of this particularly 20th century classical music existed. It's like, what's the point of it? I don't understand. And I didn't give it any time. Luckily, you grow up and you learn more about the world, um, and you sort of start to understand the reasons why people were doing the things they were doing. And like, I've kind of fallen in love with weird classical music, and particularly when you go see a lot of us, like, local, like we see Australian Chamber Orchestra a lot, and Camerata, which is like a Queensland-based string sort of chamber ensemble, and they do, amongst the very beautiful, works in the regular repertoire that most orchestras play. They play some really interesting stuff by modern composers, even living composers, doing really weird things, and beautiful things. Like, you start to appreciate, their existence and the things that they're doing, and I kind of want to be part of that sometimes. I really do. So this is maybe my way in, my way in to make weird art music, and that's okay. I'm allowed to do that. I'm giving myself permission to do that too. You finished animation? Nice. You like Tron music? Nice. Tron Legacy is amazing. It is, yeah. That music is pretty much up there, one of the best scores out there. Did you enjoy the new one? I saw Tron. What's it? Tron Ares. The film was pretty middling. Um, I kind of enjoyed the score. It had really good moments, um, but it wasn't quite, the Legacy, like the same as Legacy. Really, it's a much more like purely electronic score. Um, whereas Tron Legacy was kind of this fusion of, like, Daft Punk uh and like Joseph Trapanese's kind of orchestrations, and it's pretty cool. It's hard to knock that down, knock that back. I need to make the soundtrack for Space Marine 3. Okay. You like No Matter What? That's cool. Everyone's so hung up on Stuart Shanty. But I'm glad you like that. I really like the Rogue Army tracks too. Anyway. Yeah, if they want me to do Space Marine 3, I'll do it. All right. They have to call me though. I'm not calling them. None of this is what. Why is this not playing anything? What is going on right now? It's there, but it's just so quiet. What a pain in the butt, guys. Sine does some weird stuff with dynamics, and I don't know why. Awakening of the Tombs. Sure, my wife would like that. Actually, should be shorter, I think. Interpret this score. Bass tremolo. I have a stream up on a second monitor that making the trash level. The most abysmal song. It's an audio from TikTok. Oh my gosh. What's this doing? Okay. Stop! Stop! Maybe. Oh, this probably should drop down an octave. This will make it much more full width. Just gonna come back here a bit. It's so weird. So essentially just, oops, not that one. Just playing this and just following textures, just looking at like where things are like filling out and just kind of playing it. It's kind of strange, man. Kind of fun. Kind of fun, but kind of strange. Welcome back, creator. So that bass probably doesn't need to be there. It's not that low. Stop. Stop playing. So there's a little moment where there's like a little low bass thing going on. So maybe we'll do that somewhere in here. Bring the volume up a bit. Okay. This section, I feel like I need to go back and work on things a little bit more, but it's like getting essentially just like the notes in and then finessing the performances later, because you can do that. We can do that. Might actually move this just a little bit to the right. There's like a little fade out. Like everything kind of needs to swell there and then sort of drop away a bit. Where are these strings? These ones here can come down a bit. So this next section is going to be interesting. There's a lot of bass stuff in this bit here. Cellos and basses, I feel. But this is also climbing. It's like getting higher and higher. It's sort of encroaching on the violins up here. So it's like interesting. How am I going to do these? What am I going to do? That cello can probably come down a little bit. It's very forward. These solo ones are actually from the... I haven't used these very much. They're like solo libraries from the Petersfesks strings from Sign. They have like... They're much more... like like soloists in an ensemble rather than like soloists in front of an orchestra, you know, like a more like virtuosic playing. It's very that is it's just nice solo instruments. That's I haven't really had that before. It's pretty cool. Just very normally played instruments, you know. That's good. And it's good for this kind of playing, I think. Although I still might have to do a bit of work to make it sort of feel like it's still fitting in the ensemble a bit. I feel like I want them forward, but not so far forward. Esoteric. Hey, going. Loving all my music? That's great. Glad to hear it. Today we're doing something bit weird, a bit different, but maybe you'll like this too. I don't know. Okay, so what we might do first, I might lay down. So this might be, I don't know, cellos, violas, sort of slowly rising up. We've got a little bit of like a split here that happens. So maybe, oh, it's even like, I guess two notes happening there. Thing is, I've got to make it. It's quite a big different like a space between. I'm using these kind of like I'm calling them alignments. So these like big rubbings here that are like, I guess like using them as markers as to where I am in the score. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything though. AI music going to replace the elevator on hold music of old? Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah. I've never tried playing with it esoteric. I kind of just don't want to. I don't want. I just want to put my head in the sand. Um, yeah. If it's gonna come for me, it's gonna come for me no matter what. So you know, I'm sure my music's in there too. I'm sure someone's scooped up all my music and there's plonked it into the great AI computer, and my music is now part of the system, which is kind of sad. But anyway, it is what it is. Yeah. It is all kind of scary, but I don't know what to do about it. Other than just to keep on doing what I'm doing and make myself more visible. I think one of the things that I like, there's a lot of people are trying to like figure out what to do. I do have an audience, which is nice. Like there are, you know, a reasonable amount of people who use my music and want to support me, and that's so cool. What I want to do is just make myself a little bit more like visible in the process, because I think I have done a lot of work to like get my music out there. Well, not really a lot of work to promote it, but like it's you know, been available and making it easy for people to access. But I think a lot of people maybe don't recognize me so much in the process that I'm actually the person behind it. So I want to kind of make people a little bit more aware of my existence, um, and that there is a real person behind the things that I'm producing. So yeah, it's still a minor joy. I don't know if I would esoteric. I don't know. I mean, it seems like a fun little thing to play with, maybe for a little bit, but I don't know. I don't want to support Suno. The guy, I've seen the guy who runs it talk about the reasons why he came up with Suno, and it is just so mind-boggling to me. Why, like the reasons why he did it. Um, it's just bonkers. Like it's essentially that like the music making process is just too hard now, like and we just need to make it just as easy as playing a game. Like it's not a good reason to steal people's work and to make it, available in some weird format to other. I don't know. It just, I don't know. Every time I think about it, every time I want to talk about it, I just get my hackles are right up, and I don't really want to like. I don't want to get angry on camera. It's like, just if you want to write music, learn how to write music. The joy of making something is learning how to make it, not the satisfaction of something this being appearing in front of you. Like, if you want to make music. Do it. Do it yourself. You know what I mean? It's the same for anything. If you want to make a piece of art, learn how to do that. And the process of learning how to do it will change you. It will make you a different person. And that's the joy of it. That's actually the reason why people like making music and doing music, is the act of doing it makes you a different person, over time. And a lot of people don't really get that anymore. They want this one immediate satisfaction. And I don't understand what you're doing. I just don't understand it anymore. Um, like, why do we need to make music making more efficient? We've got so many people making music now, like more than ever before. Why do we need to have an AI do it faster? Like, what? Why? 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 What are we doing? What are we doing? I want AI to be used for things that will benefit us. I want it to be used for medical research. I want it to be used for um, like, I don't know, like things that are like nearly impossible for us to understand. Like putting massive data sets together to create you know you know models of proteins in 3 dimensions that haven't been modeled before, to figure out how proteins work and active sites and how cancer can be detected. I want these things. That's what AI needs to be used for. It doesn't need to be used to replace or just be an artist. I don't think we need artists, computers to be artists, because we have artists. We have artists that do it really well now. It's not a solution to like a problem to be solved. We have artists. And in fact, if we replace artists with a computer, then what are we doing? Like, one of the defining features of the human being, the human, Homo sapiens, is that the ability to create art. It's the defining feature of us. What are we doing? Yeah, exactly, esoteric. You're right. It's a tool, and we can use it in a really positive way, and we can also just use it in stupid ways, really stupid ways. Anyway, that's my rant, guys. That's my rant. I'm just gonna like take a breath. Anyway, I'm curious what you guys think, because I feel like there is, there is a majority out there who like don't necessarily like want AI to like go away, but they want it to be It like particularly for the uses that we're talking about, like music and art. Like it's like why? Like there's other people that sort of share my opinion, I think, but hmm, it's fast enough. Exactly, creator. There are people out there who can create music really well, like better than what an AI can do. I don't know why we have to resort to an AI to do that. Um, Particularly if art's supposed to be this response to life, and our existence and that sort of thing. I don't really know like how an AI can. I don't. It can create art. It can definitely commercial art. Um, but it's like, why? Why do we need it to do that? Automating all the fun stuff away while we still have to do the laundry and wash the dishes. Exactly. That's what we want it for. We want it to take all the fun stuff away so we can just do all the housework. Absolutely. This is not the future that we designed, that we were like, wanting when we picture all these sci-fi films and TV shows. The robots were our servants, not the other way around. Yeah, exactly. So notes. I don't know where I'm at. Oh, that's really a long way. Gotta go faster, I think. I like that moment there, though. That was kind of fun. So I think these are in the wrong spot, but that's okay. Okay, we need to make a few landmarks then, I think, so we can essentially time this section out properly. So there's like a bit here. Such a long section. 4:44 to like 7:33. So like base stuff ends here, like here, and then we'll call this blob. here-ish. Blobble. Halfway is the base, like a second big base thing going on. So where's that? Yeah, jeez, okay. I like this section's not spaced out right. So that's like, yeah, okay. Maybe this needs to be shorter. No, actually, no, it's probably fine. Okay, so that's like 2/3 of the way through. So like here, base stuff again. So base stuff here. Blob is, yeah, about there maybe. Some more blobs. More blobs. Maybe we move this back here a little bit. More blobs. Blobs. Okay. That should at least give me some markers to do the same performance for each of the parts. All right, I have a quick bio break actually. We'll play it from the beginning. Where's the scroll thing going on? Okay. We're right back. You're welcome, Broken Glasses. kind of like that moment, but it's like, yeah, I don't think the strings are lining up properly here. Yeah, it does sound it. It does have a wind kind of component to it, definitely. Yeah. Vespers, you know. With Fit in the Journey, yeah, you're right. It has got a vibe of that, I think. Definitely. I think the ambience helps, I think. Yeah, it's a bit different, right? Different to what I'm normally writing. Oh, random, thank you. Yeah, cool. I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay, so if I go... Might just cut that there. And then we'll play this cello again. It'll probably sound different again because I'm just kind of vibing. So I'll no idea if it'll be the same notes or not. Where did the cello go? Here. Okay. Okay. My score. No. Oh, move this over a bit, I think. See you, Red. Damn it. Play. Trying to interpret this kind of stuff here. Like where the quest feels like it goes so much slower in the score, but what do I do? We could slow this down a bit. Space this out a bit more. Or maybe we'll go from here. Base stuff again. So where's the base stuff again? What was that there? Blob. Whoops. Oh, wow. No, this needs to move out a bit more. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let me just fix that. Stop. Stop, please. What? Okay. All right. And now we'll do the high strings just because I'll add a decent amount of texture. Where are they? Did I just delete them? No. Up here? No. 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 Where is it? I was using the LCS. I must have deleted it. Yep. Here we are. Okay, just gonna delete that. This is all wrong. Oh dear, there's the blob. Okay. The blob. No. What's going on here? Ah, it's so hard to interpret sometimes. Oh god. When do you start composing? What are the first instruments you go with? It depends on the kind of track, really, doesn't it? Um, Sometimes it would be a synth if I'm doing more like, uh, yeah. A lot of my work is because it's got a lot of my work has like synth components to it, and often they're like the backbone. I would find them to use them to like build out chord progressions or and whatnot. And then finding a really nice synth patch that has a nice character to it kind of helps me with finding the voice for the track. Um, but it really it does depend. Might be piano as well. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing there, but that's fine. That's all right. Thank you, chapters. This is definitely a different thing we're going for today. Very, very arty music. I'm interpreting. So I don't know if you know, I'm interpreting a essentially a graphical score that my wife has made based on a rubbing she made. So I'm just kind of vibing it out, seeing where I'm going. Is this a bit quiet? Excuse me, guys. Quite quiet, I think. The vibe. Yeah, I agree. But the cello is actually there, so it's a cello section at the moment, playing that sort of lower part that you can hear. I'll probably do a cello solo over the top too. But sort of I've got to work, probably, and maybe do a little, like, because it does. So this is all interpreting this score. So like there is a split here. One thing I noticed is I'm going up in the strings, but actually the high strings are coming down there. If I interpret these as high strings, they're coming down. So I'm going up, but should be going down. Really? Like it peaks around here and then starts coming down again. Interesting. Probably have done that wrong. I've done it wrong. Not that there's a wrong way, but where's this blob? So we're mostly okay until here. To about here. Okay. Ooh. That's an interesting chord. No, we'll keep that open until the alignment. Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, that's what it is, I guess. Gonna make that cleaner. Thank you so much. Hello, South Korea. I'm glad you like it, buddy. A little moment there does sound a bit like Journey. That's okay. So there's so many weird dissonances and chords I would never ever do, but it's happening. It's what's happening. It's what's coming out of it. Grand cello, is that another way of saying bass? Maybe it is. Yeah. What program is this? This is not Cubase. It's Cakewalk. Cakewalk Sonar. So it's very much the same style of program as Cubase, but yeah. If you go with a more dissonant build-up, get it resolved in the same key you start with. I don't know, actually, Stormkiller. I don't know where it's going to end. So I don't know if you know the background, but this is I'm interpreting this essentially rubbing that my wife has done of her work. So the idea is that I'm just gonna I'm interpreting it into music, and I actually don't know. Like there's so much of this where I'm just kind of like I'm interpreting these as, certain parts, and I'm just feeling it out as I play. I'm kind of not paying too much attention other than like I am trying to keep in a sort of scale, more or less. I'm sort of playing around in G. Sometimes it's G minor, major, some sort of mixture of the two. But I'm just kind of exploring it. Yeah, more of a tonal center, I think. It is around G. But I'm just kind of vibing it out and see what happens. I'm interpreting these sort of as chords, and I'm and in sort of relation to the last note that I've played almost. I'm saying, okay, this might be the next note, and just seeing what happens. And it's kind of, sometimes it's weird, Sometimes it's really pretty. Sometimes it's just, and I don't know where it's going to end, to be honest. Because look at this, it gets quite like close to each other for quite a long period of time. A lot of textural stuff too that will have to come in, I think. But like, yeah, it ends where they're almost at the same point. You know, the lower strings are kind of risen up to the high strings up the top. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, how it's gonna work out. It's crazy. What a crazy work. It's just like, it's really interesting to see what happens, you know. Never done anything like this before. And it's kind of fun. Kind of fun to see what it happens. And just like, and sort of accepting in a way of how the cards land, you know. A little bit of random, sort of random performance, a little bit of chance. I'm kind of having fun. But I just realized what the time is. I'm wondering why my stomach is like about to eat itself. I'm hungry. I need to go eat lunch. So I'm gonna go have lunch. Sorry if that's okay. I'm gonna see you next time. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I know I was a bit weird. Thank you, Ryden. Thank you so much, buddy. That's a new one. Yeah, exactly. So notes. I don't think it's not something I thought about, but like, yeah, grand cello. Why can't it be a bass? Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me, guys. I really appreciate it. It's a bit of a weird one today, I reckon. And but I hope you enjoyed this kind of weird departure from what I'm normally doing. You know what I mean? Something a bit different. And I hope you have a good week. I don't know if I'll do this on stream again. It's like, I don't know how we. I mean, unless we keep a you know, we maybe dip back into it every now and then, but because I don't know how you're really into this kind of thing, but I'm having fun. And I'm having fun, and that's really what matters. I'm exploring something new, and it's really kind of exciting. I like it. It's fun. But until then, guys, take it easy. There is a new track coming out on Friday for the library. So keep your ears peeled for that one. I also, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I am working on a new update for the website, which includes a new library interface. So I'll keep you posted on how that's going. So far, it's looking pretty good, and the functionality is working well. So it should be fun. Should be interesting. But until then, take it easy, guys. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye. I'm so hungry.